The next variable we want you to think about is the emotional impact of your message. It's very important to assess the impact of your message in emotion terms, because our behavior can often be a function of how we feel rather than what we know. For example, we might eat a lot of unhealthy food because we're feeling depressed or because we feel a sense of loss, more than knowing or not knowing that healthy or unhealthy food is good or bad for us. So the way in which we assess the emotional impact of our message is to think both in terms of positive and negative emotions. Positive emotions might include things like happiness and challenge. Negative emotions will include things like anxiety and fear and even sadness. It's very important to understand the emotional impact of the message because it interacts with an individual difference. No surprise, gender and emotions interact with one another. What might surprise you is that men are more persuaded by an emotional health communication than women. In part, we believe that's because women tend to be so overcome with the emotion that they may not read the rest of the health message or actually follow the recommendations. So how do you know whether you have an emotional message or not? So we have a question. As you look at this message and you read it, or you just look at the images in the message, how emotional do you feel? Do you have positive emotions that are evoked when you read the message? You know, are you feeling hopeful? Do you feel like, wow, this is a cool challenge, I can do this, right? Do you feel happy that there is a remedy or there is some testing that can be done to find out what may be a problem, right? So you have different positive emotions. Of course, we're all familiar with the different negative emotions. So you have all kinds of negative emotions such as, wow, I didn't know I was vulnerable. I didn't know I was at risk. This makes me very anxious. This makes me scared. This makes me fearful. You could also have emotions such as, ooh, you know what? I wish I had done this earlier because now, my tumor's too large and I regret that I didn't, follow these, whether it's a breast self-exam or taking a colonoscopy or another cancer detection test like prostate cancer, and I would have had more treatment options available to me. So there could be some regret or some guilt that's associated with that. You could, of course, be totally sad or depressed when you read the message. You may read a story about somebody and say, oh God, that's such a sad story. That's horrible. The story could be coming from the survivors, right? It could be coming from someone who didn't undertake the recommended behaviors, health behaviors, and now feels bad about them, and that could make you really sad. You could get really depressed because it reminds you of what happened to your mother. So there's all kinds of emotional reactions that we face.